Hey everybody, we're going to talk about food. It's probably the number one question I get is how I'm going to feed myself on trail, resupply, and those kind of things. So we're just going to jump right in. Here we go. Okay, so this is my food bag. This is what I'll take out on the trail. It's known as a bear bag. There's two other solutions to ward off bears or keep the scent down so that they don't get attracted to your food. That is a bear canister, which is a hard shell, round, kind of a small barrel looking piece, which has about 2 to 3 pounds of weight. So I chose not to use that. There's also something called a yursack where it's made of Kevlar and it attaches to a tree. And so I've also chosen not to use that, but that might be an option as I get farther down. Because this, you have to hang from a tree. You have a small piece of rope, or not rope, but twine that comes with it. It hooks onto the bag. And then you throw this up, you fill this with a rock or some weight inside this little bag. You throw it up over a tall branch, about 15 to 20 feet high, minimum of 12 feet. And you lift your bag up in the air, and it should sit at least 12 feet high and about 5 feet away from the base of a tree so that the bear can't go up the tree and swat at it and catch it. So that's what a bear bag is. So we're going to jump in. Okay, typically what you want to do is you want to get this down to as condensed package as you can so you can fit more in your bag. Bear bag for one person can hold about 6 meals max without overloading it. And what you do is what I do is I use freezer bags, which is what a lot of folks do, but I break them down by day. So after I resupply or I set up my pack, I'm going to have days packed in. The dinner, I'll just show you real quick. The dinner for the first day will be a Mountain House yellow curry dinner. The Mountain House meals are great, and you see them everywhere. You can get them at Walmart, but they're very expensive. They're 10 to 12, up to 14 or $15. So I don't want to use these all the time just because of the expense. They're light, they're made for backpacking, and actually there's 2 servings in there. So some people split them, but I'm a big guy. I'm planning to eat the whole thing at once. And then what I do is by day, at night, I will divide the foods out. So I break it down into small pouches for my lunch, my breakfast, my snacks, and my dinner. When you're on the trail, typically you're not eating 3 meals, you may be eating up to 6 meals. If you think of yourself as a hobbit, you're eating breakfast, second breakfast, lunch, afternoon snack, no 11sies, and then dinner, and then possibly something right after dinner if you want something sweet. So this is my day 1, and just to show you some of the things that I'm taking, I've experimented with a lot of bars in the last couple of years. Found the ones that I like or the ones that I'm okay with taking. And what I'm trying to do is find foods that are dense, give a lot of calories and a lot of protein, but then also travel light. So things like Ritz cracker packets. The problem with these is they can get smashed easily, but they're peanut butter. There's 200 calories to a packet. I also like Kate's real food bars. This is a lemon coconut, the Radiant Energy. The thing about trying to have flexibility in the types of bars you have is along the trail, when you resupply, you will not always be at an Outfitter, a Whole Foods, a Publix, or a great big grocery store. So you want to get used to or find a lot of things that work for you. Some resupply locations may just be a Dollar General or even a large gas station. So you want to find some of those things. Nuts is very, very high in proteins and the calories that you need, and they travel very light. So that's my snacks. To go along with dinner, just happen to have I've got a powder for my drink, and then some Nico lemon creams, which I like. So that, and my Mountain House is my dinner. My lunch, I'm planning to be pretty mobile throughout the day, especially in the first couple of weeks till I can really get my routine down. So I'm looking at a Pro Meal Bar and also a kind breakfast protein bar as my lunch for the day. And then breakfast. So breakfast I am anticipating because of the cold. I think I've talked about I like my coffee. I like my coffee sweet, so I'm carrying my little equal tab. But one of the things I plan to do is jump on the trail, maybe with a bar, one of the bars, and then stopping for my second breakfast and possibly cooking. And one of the breakfasts I've seen done is take your oats, breakfast essential, coffee, boil your water, mix all three together, sweeten it up if you need to, and that is your breakfast. And then that way I'll get something hot. But I want to start my breakfast pretty quickly so I can get my blood flowing in my body, starting off with some nuts or something and get on trail. So right now, each day has calculated out to just about 2,500 calories, which essentially you don't want to just look at calories when you're on the trail. You want to look at the things that give you protein and energy. Your body's going to be really working out for 6, 8, 10 hours in a day. So you want to get as much in as possible. I'm debating, I also have, just because like I said, I wanted to figure out my routine, I have a bag of extras and then beverage mixes. I'm not going to take all these. I've got some jerky and some of that kind of stuff in there, but I may take a few items just to kind of start to figure out, is this enough for me or not? There's a calculator on White Blaze. That's a website that is great for tons of information about hiking the trail and through hiking. And there's a calculator on there that helps you to calculate how much your body will consume or need for calories throughout the day. And mine is calculating about 4,000 to 4,500 calories. So at 2,500, I'm a little light, but I also carry a little bit of extra weight anyway, so we'll see how that goes. Now, as far as resupplying, the plan is that about every 3 to 5 days, stopping at a town, a hostel, some sort of civilization, and actually just resupplying, just like I said, buying products that you need at a store, and then getting back on trail, dividing all the foods out again, based on the number of days you plan to be out before the next resupply location, or you can have boxes sent. So one of the hacks I want to show you that I've done that I picked up from another YouTuber was a lot of these recipes call for a specific amount of liquid. So like this one says 1.5 cups of boiling liquid. So when you're on the trail, you may not have a measuring cup. This one I know is 12 ounces, so that's not going to do me. But what I've done is actually use my Tox 750, which is where I'll pour my water in, and I've actually notched the back of my spoon. So if you turn it upside down, you pour the water in, I've got a 1/4 cup, a 1/3 cup, and a 1/2 cup. So that's how I'll measure out the proper amount of water. So this is what the BRS looks like once it's set up. It just opens up the little hole, the pot holder pieces right here, which is where the pot stands. You fill it with water, put it here, put the top on, and in just a little over 2 minutes it boils. You see the steam come through the holes. So I have a koozie, especially for winter time, and you put your meal in here, take off the top, open it up, and once your water has boiled, you will take it and you'll pour the water into the pouch, because it's supposed to rest for a few minutes according to the recipe. Just close it up, set it up against the side of the tent or in the shelter or something, and then you'll be ready to eat when you're done. And that's another reason why you use a long spoon, so you can get every drop down at the bottom of the pouch. And then at the end of the meal, I keep a couple of extra Ziploc bags in my food bag, so I can take all the packaging, I can put it in here, and then this becomes my trash bag. And I'll use this until I get to town or find some place on a wayside or whatever that has a trash can that I can dispose of all of my trash, carry it out. And just to emphasize, when you are resupplying or whatever your location for resupplying is, like I said, You can get these pretty readily, but there's no guarantee. So you've got to be able to be flexible. And again, these are expensive, but a couple of great options are Knorr sides. They're $3 or $4. It's very inexpensive, but a great product to make a meal out of. I've got, let's see, I've got premium mac and cheese. And then for my fourth day, I have Idahoan roasted garlic potatoes. And again, like I said, each of these worked out to be 2,500 calories, so I'm pretty happy with that. So the other thing I want to share is I've been prepping for this hike for a while, and I've made sure I've been on the watch with Amazon for products that go on sale or when they do the Amazon days. So getting a lot of the bulk items, big thing of Cliff Bars. The variety packs are typically on sale more than just the single meals, but they're all fine. The pro meals, and then also our local grocery stores, the Publix, and they do a lot of BOGOs. And so I just picked these up the other day. So it cost me, I get 2 for the cost of 1. And there's a lot of products like that. And another option to resupply is actually using a food box. Having somebody back home, like the hike director, will take things that I want on the trail, different supplies, fill them in, put them in a box, fold it up, and then mail it to a location that I am anticipating being at a certain time. Post offices do it, of course, but you're sort of limited to their schedule. But hostels and some other locations will hold packages anywhere from 5 to 20 days, depending on the location. You just have to address them and make sure it's you've marked your box well so that they can identify that it's for a thru hiker. So the next part of the video is actually a recipe of something I had when I was a scout leader, and we went to the northern tier up in Canada, and it is something called Hudson Bay bread. You can't, of course, there are certain items you can't pack in your pack without knowing they're going to get damaged, like the crackers, but things like eggs and fruits and vegetables, that's why you see a lot of dense kind of food that packs down. But Hudson Bay bread is a very dense bread, and you'll see it in the recipe once you go through that. But I love it with, you can have it with Nutella. I love it with peanut butter. Hudson Bay bread. And then I'm very grateful for KJ, who is one of my subscribers and somebody I've worked with in the past, and she gave me a recipe for Amish energy bars. And so I've made those, and KJ, they are fabulous. And but what I've done is, instead of doing them in individuals, I've actually made a loaf. So this would be a loaf that I would use for the day. And great product, a little bit lighter than this. So it's based with Rice Krispies, and yeah, just a great product. So also, when you're putting your food bag together, REI and some other outfitters have odorless bags. So when you pack them and you seal them, they're not, supposedly they won't let any odor out. So it helps to keep the bears and other animals down or attracted to your bear bag. So you can look for those. So that's a quick look at how I'm planning to eat on the trail. Boys, just use code 8 this week. And so everybody else, just, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below. Subscribe, click notifications, ring the bell, do the thumbs up, and there's something else I'm missing. I think that's plenty. I've asked you guys each week, but I really appreciate everybody that's starting to tag on. I've noticed my numbers are going up a little bit, and so thank you. I hope you enjoy these videos and you get something out of them. See you out there. Just real quick, total weight on the food bag is just over 6 pounds, so about 1.5 pounds of food per day. Hey everybody, okay, I am going to show you how to make Hudson Bay bread. This is a treat that I learned in the Boy Scouts when we went up to the northern tier just inside Canada for a 10-day canoe camping trip. It was spectacular, but we won't go into that right now. One of the treats was Hudson Bay bread, pretty simple, but very full of protein and a lot of good things. It's a dense, packed bread, so it's not like a very yeast driven bread. It is basically made with a lot of oats, nuts, and I've chosen walnuts, chopped walnuts, sugar, Karo syrup, a little bit of maple syrup, real maple syrup, and lots of butter. So let's get into it. First thing we're going to add is 3 sticks of butter. So just regular old softened butter to the mixer. So we have the butter in, and now we're going to add sugar. We're going to add 2 cups of sugar, and then we're going to let those start creaming together. So there's 1. So this is some raw honey, just out of the fields, about 2 years old. But honey never goes bad, and it's one of the few products that insects make that it's actually the only product that an insect makes that humans consume. It'll last 1,000 years, and it's one of the best things if you are allergic to flowers in an area. It's one of the best things to help you get used to those flowers. And here we go, 1/3 of a cup. And this is from the Northwest, this honey. It's actually very stiff. And also 1/3 of a cup of Karo syrup. Okay, so now we're going to add 3/4 cup of the chopped walnuts. So the last ingredient are 9.5 cups of oats, and these are quick oats. We're also going to add 1 teaspoon of real maple syrup, just for a little bit of flavor. Okay, so this is mixed for a couple of minutes. It should be pretty much ready to go. We're going to turn it out into our pan. I pre-buttered the pan really quick. It's a little dry or feels dry, but by the time you press it into your pan, it should all come together. And then once you cook it, the sugars will melt and the butter will melt, and it'll all blend nicely. So right now we're just taking it out and putting it in the pan. And now I'm going to press it into the pan. Basically, you're just filling in all the sides, getting it flat and as even as possible. I've preheated an oven to 325 degrees. Okay, we're going to stick this in the oven for about 15 to 18 minutes. Okay, they're ready, so we're going to pull them out. All right, they're sizzling. So what you do now is you press it down so that everything sticks nice and tight. So this is the end product. It is a little thick, mostly oats and nuts. But the great thing about this is it's dense, travels well, but you can put your favorite jelly or jam on it, peanut butter and Nutella, or you can just eat it plain. So it's a great bread for traveling. Enjoy. Hey everybody, this is Chuck here.
We know who you are.
Of fruits and vegetables yet, but that may be a Christmas present for the hike whatever director lady.
Me.
You. Yeah. So anyways.